Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. You have to be able to move forward in life towards your goals relentlessly, with that hunger, with that drive, regardless. This is the important part. Regardless if you have anybody supporting you, even if people are against you. I've been through this so many times. I mean, since I was a kid, I've had people telling me that I can't do shit, and I've owned that narrative. Don't own the narrative that others put upon you. That's their own fear. Motherfuckers will put their fear of success, their fear of moving forward, they'll put that on you. Make you wear that. They're already branded with that shit because they hold themselves back. And they want to hold you back too. People do this. I've had it happen to me countless times. I've had to learn how to overcome a defeated mindset. And sometimes that is coming from within, and sometimes that can be put on us from without. Now, even if it's put on us from other people, jerks, people that suck, we don't have to own it. And I've been so weak in my life where I've owned what other people told me. I was lost in their validation. I needed their validation. I needed people to tell me, you can do it. I needed people to approve my ideas before I went ahead with them. I would always ask friends and family and people that I thought were in my corner. Not everybody's in your corner the way that you want them to be. You'd be surprised. You really would. People have a little expectation of you, what they think you are. And they want to put you into that bubble. That's what you are. You want to be something else? Nuh-uh. Then these people become your slave master because they're telling you, get back in line. Get back into my expectation of you. Stay in that little bubble. I mean, I've had this happen to me from when I was a kid. I always thought I was stupid. And I had a narrative that I told myself, I'm dumb. And I owned that. And people would say, oh, no, Sky, you're not dumb. And I'd be like, yes, I am. I know I am. You don't have to lie to me. I know I'm dumb. And, you know, I did that for years, despite the fact that I had a high IQ. I mean, I did get expelled from 4 high schools in 4 years. And, you know, I went to 2 junior highs and 2 or 3 different elementary schools. I was moving from school to school to school. I had a hard time as a kid with that shit. I'm learning disabled, have dyslexia, have ADHD. I have every single 3 or 4, 5-letter goddamn acronym that psychiatrists have come up with. Any kind of fucking new acronym they come up with, they say, oh yeah, you got it, you got it. So I grew up with all these labels. One of the labels was, school is not for everybody, especially not for you. That's what my mom told me. Another narrative that I ran in my head was, you're stupid, because that's what my teachers told me. This was back in the day when people didn't really know what learning disabilities were or dyslexia was. This is a long time ago. I'm an old man. That wasn't hip in school yet. Nobody really knew what that shit was. They just say that you're stupid and lazy. Nobody knew that you had a developmental problem. So I had teachers tell me that I was stupid. I had a principal at one of the schools, because I told you I left a lot of schools, was always going to a new school. I was always the new kid in school. One of the schools I left, I think it was 10th grade, the principal called me into his office because I was in trouble and was yelling at me as I left because I dropped out of school in 10th grade. Was like, fuck this shit. I ain't doing this shit no more. He was yelling at me, you'll never be anything. You'll never be anything in life. Shit was echoing through the hallways as I walked all the way out of the building, and he's just yelling it over and over again. You'll never be anything. These were the narratives that I owned. I owned that shit. I believed that shit. This is what the authority figures are telling me. This is what everybody's telling me. And I went on for years feeling stupid, defeating myself at every turn, not really able to even get started on a goal. It was always just fantasies. I was a dreamer. Why don't you do that? Well, because guys like me don't do that. I'm stupid. School's not for me. I'll never be anything in life. I'm telling myself the same shit these motherfuckers were telling me. You can't own these types of things. You have to learn how to block that stuff out, just like you did bullies on the playground. People that you really respect. They might be all wrong. Sometimes you have to be willing to go it alone. This is what being a pioneer is all about. You know what pioneers are? Pioneers are groundbreakers who go it alone. They go fresh ground, adventurous type shit, Indiana Jones type shit in areas that nobody's ever been before. They're gonna go. That's dangerous business. It's a surefire way to get yourself killed, get yourself attacked. Wild animals and savages, you know. But you can't let that kind of fear stop you. I'd rather go to my grave saying I tried and failed than to say I never tried at all, just because I wanted to play it safe. I never failed. Well, you never tried. Everybody who's ever failed has tried a bunch of times. There's motherfuckers who failed more times than you've ever tried. That's what masters do. That's the difference between a master and a student, because the master has failed thousands of times. That's where the lessons come from, is in your failure. When I started this motorcycle shop in Los Angeles, year 2000, I had an idea, a desire to just be a little different than everybody else. Everybody was doing the Jesse James shit. I didn't want to do that, but I couldn't afford it. That was also the kicker. I wasn't a rich boy. Everybody, Jesse James included, every one of them had secret money. Somebody funding them, somebody paying, some kind of Daddy Warbucks motherfucker kicking down cash, running their fucking operation for them. Everybody had a secret hustle. They weren't telling you about, oh, I'm chopper builder, but I really sell scooters at a fucking scooter place down the street. That's what pays the bills. Oh, I'm a chopper builder, but I really paint the fucking newspaper fucking boxes in the city. I knew a guy who had that account. He would just spray them red all throughout Los Angeles. Every newspaper bin in the entire city, he sprayed it. Great account, monotonous. So he hired a dude just to sit there in a warehouse, spray those motherfuckers red all day long. They'd be dropping them off in truckloads, he'd spraying them. He'd take that money, had himself a separate shop, and he's Mr. Bike Builder, celebrity bike builder. They don't tell you this stuff. I had none of that shit. I started with nothing. So I wanted to do bikes that I could afford. I wanted to do a niche that I thought was cool, but it was a little bit unusual. I wanted to sell affordable choppers, affordable cafe racers, affordable custom bikes to working class people, to people on a budget, to a guy who has a regular job, not at some investment banker, because that's what all the fucking bike builders were doing. They were selling all their fucking chump choppers, these bolt-on fucking chopper kits that are worth 50, 60, 80 grand, like Orange County choppers, and selling them to rich motherfuckers and celebrities and bragging about this shit like that's their customer base. Fuck that. I wanted the biker scene to be fucking about bikers. You telling me that a biker can't afford a fucking bike no more because the rich shitheads took the whole goddamn scene over? I'm gonna take it back. That was my mission. People told me you can't sell cheap bikes for affordable prices to working class people. What are you doing? A bunch of Honda choppers and Triumph choppers and a bunch of off-brand stuff? And I mean, what are you even really doing? And yeah, that's what I was doing. I'll do anything. I'll buy a Honda Rebel and make it the baddest Honda Rebel you ever seen and charge you $4 or $5 grand for it. And you can ride that bitch around town and be the fucking king at every stoplight. I mean, why not? Why does it have to be $50, $60, $70,000 fucking bikes? Kit bikes. Why? Motherfuckers told me straight across the board, in every aspect of the industry. You can't do this. For all kinds of reasons. And every time I had reasons, they would tell me why. You don't have the experience. You don't have the money. This is a terrible idea. All kinds of no reasons. Gatekeeping fucking type of shit. I didn't want to believe it. I said, well, I'm going to do it anyways. If I fail, I fail. You can all laugh at me and say, I told you so. Turn around and say, ah, he's so stupid. We told him. Fine, you guys can have the last laugh, but I'm going to fucking try it anyways. My own family, friends, nobody was in my corner. Nobody was just like, oh, this is great. I had one homeboy who was in with me. So we started the company together. It was 20 years ago. We started out of our garage. I own this building now. And all the tools in it, I have no debt. A reputation from South Africa to Europe. Everybody knows about Sinister. Everybody knows about me. You can't live other people's fear, other people's narratives, other people's naysaying bullshit, other people's opinions don't matter. It takes a lot of guts to be a pioneer. It takes a lot of guts to tread ground that nobody's ever been by yourself, unprepared, because you don't really know what lays ahead, and to just go forward, see what happens. With people behind you saying, don't do it, you're stupid, laughing at you. That is the best thing I've ever done, was to not listen to motherfuckers. Stop listening to people. Thanks for watching.